Hi, I'm Diana. We are given this two-stage iSpring water filtration system in return for our review. Now, we're going to show you how we installed it in our particular situation, some tips on how you can install it, and you can see if this is a fit for you or not, so check it out.
All right, today we're going to be installing this iSpring water system, and the very first thing you need to do is locate where the water comes into your house. We're in Arizona. It doesn't get too cold outside, so we're comfortable putting this in here because it's not going to freeze in our garage. If you're in a location that does freeze, you may want to consider putting this in your basement or somewhere safe where it's not going to be exposed to freezing temperatures. Now, the holes in this master head here are only 8 inches apart. Typically studs in America, on your American homes, are 16 inches apart, so I'm not going to be able to hit those studs with this unit. And it's kind of heavy, and especially when I add the filters after it's all done, this is going to be very heavy. This sheetrock wall is not going to support that. So I've made the determination that I'm going to span this with a couple 2x4s. I don't want to bring this close to this edge because that's the weakest part of this 2x4. I want to drop it down into here. And if you notice here, this thing is thicker than that. So I'm actually going to put one more 2x4 down here just to support that. All right, we're nice and secure now. And we're level. We'll put that in first, and then we'll locate the second one. I've pre-drilled that hole. Nice and level, you can see that there. For the next step, you're going to want to make sure you have your water shut off. So the next thing we do is need to put the 2 inlets on, threaded inlets on each side. Now they don't give you any plumber's tape, so you have to go get some plumber's tape. And you always want to wrap clockwise against the grain. And with this being such a big diameter, which is it's an inch, you're going to want to go about 7 times. That's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Half again, just call it good. What's going to happen now is you're going to put these in here, one on the inlet side, and now we're going to do one for the outlet side. All right, now you just want to tighten this to where it doesn't, you don't want to crank it down because you don't want to crack this plastic. And with 7 or 8 rolls of that silicone wrap, we're in good shape without having to go crazy. So just when it starts to get firm, give it another little half a turn or so and call that good. All right, you can go to your local hardware store, big box store, whatever you want to do. You're going to want to get yourself a connector that's intended for like a soft water system. And when speaking of soft water system, these are best installed after a soft water system. We don't have ours in yet. It's on order. It's going to go right there. So I'm going to have to tweak this a bit when we're done. I'm just showing you how this all goes in here today. And what to do, this is an inch diameter. So you're only going to find that in the soft water section of your local hardware store because everything else is going to be typically 3/4 inch. So there's one line for the outlet. We're going to tighten that back up again, just like we did the little black thing. Same thing on this side. All right, I feel that's really good. I'm just going to eye this to give it some sort of proximity. And I know that this pipe's going to go in this far, so I'm going to cut that pipe right there. We're using shark bites today because they're nice and easy to use. They just slip right on. That's done. All right, so that I don't have to keep going outside every time I want to shut the water off so I make my changes to my filters here, I'm going to put an on and off valve right here at the location. So I'm going to put it right in here. So I need to cut myself 2 pieces of copper that are going to go from here to here. So that I can reach it, I'm going to put the angle this way. I don't want to go this way because it would be playing into the filter side, so I don't want to do that. I want to put it on this side. Okay, so I'm going to do this already in. Okay, good. So I need to determine the height from there to there. I'm going to come back and put a clamp on that in just a minute. I just finished the outlet side, going back to the house. On page 3 of the instruction manual, it tells you whichever model you have, which filter goes in stage 1 and which filter goes in stage 2. Both of the receptacles are exactly the same, so it's the actual filter that you're going to want to determine which goes where. You have a carbon block filter, the FC25B, and the sediment filter, the FP25B. So, nothing was actually labeled in the box for us, so I actually had to take one of them apart, which I did. If you look at this greenish colored one, I took the top off. It actually tells you can open it and close it here. So I opened it, looked inside. Carbon is black. That's not carbon. So I deduced that this is not the carbon filter. In the instruction manual, stage 2 is carbon. Stage 2, carbon. Stage 1, sediment. So I'm going to put the sediment in there. Locate this wrench, okay? Have it handy. But before you put the filter in the container here, there's a styrofoam pad in each one of the bottoms. So you want to be sure to remove that. Then see there's a hole on the bottom of the filter. There's a little stem in the bottom of that hole, of that container. You want to be sure they line up. It should go nice and free. It shouldn't be difficult. If it's difficult, then you cross-threaded it, you've made a mistake. So, and this doesn't need to be really, really tight. See these black O-rings here? Those are going to do the work. That's what keeps it leak-proof. So all you want to do is just give it a little turn to tighten it up and call it good. Again, just get it firm, give it a little snug, call that good. Okay, the next step now is to actually turn your water back on and fill this up with water. However, it's important because there's going to be some sediment in these filters. It's important to get that sediment out of the system. So the very first thing you want to do after you turn the water onto the house is go inside, locate your closest cold water. Keep the hot water off. You don't want this sediment going to your hot water tank. You want this coming right directly to this cold water line. So you're going to want to turn this cold water line on to run the sediment out. Now, it's important, because there is going to be sediment, to pull the filter out of your spout. So I've already done that. Ours has a little tool here that you can pull yours out. Yours may have just a regular round thing that you can use a pair of pliers or something. But pull that filter out, otherwise you're just going to clog that, okay? So pull that out and turn on your cold water. You can actually see the sediment coming out already. Look how dark it is and how black it is. Let this run for a while till that starts showing up clear. If your water's shooting all over the place, you may want to contain that for the time being. We're going to let it sit for 10 minutes and we're going to come back and do it again. The final step of installation is to actually bond the inlet pipe with the outlet pipe, because the mechanism is made of plastic. It's important to continue the ground throughout your house. So here you can see we've grounded the inlet to the outlet, which then continues this throughout the house. Many areas of your house are grounded to your copper pipes because that is a form of grounding for your home. Very important to do this. Okay, this is what she looks like when she's all done. Now, it's important to know that you're probably going to be exchanging these filters every 4 to 6 months or so. Or if you notice a severe drop in water pressure in your house, this is probably an indication that one of these filters is dirty or clogged. I would suggest keeping one of each on hand in a nice dry place somewhere, and that way when you need to change one out, you have it at your ready.
So anyway, these are impressive. I have to tell you, they were much bigger than I expected, and they definitely are going to do the job for us in our entire home, so check them out.